Good afternoon. I met some people last night and they have inspired me to be more active on this. I said, I explained a lot of my mental health issues, and one of them I mentioned as like the social anxiety, which led to all the other diagnoses. Anyways, so at the near the end of the night, they said, well, with the whole like social anxiety thing, know that like you're really awesome. We've just met you, but you're you're really awesome. So you shouldn't be worrying about what other people think. And I'm really trying. The intention was fantastic and wonderful, and all that stuff. But there is also like this bitter edge as you learn so much more about mental health disorders that I'm like, yes, I know I am amazing. I am a fantastic individual. Yet my brain doesn't understand that, and so that's the hard part is rewiring all of that into believing in myself and having that confidence. I know that some people are born with it, which is why it's a matter of this is actually a mental health issue. This isn't, and this is how my brain operates. That's why there is a specific aspect to ADHD that makes one more, well, that is why RSD, rejection sensitivity dysphoria, is more, it's only related to ADHD. That's how our brain is wired. Is one of the characteristics of the ADHD brain is that, well, I think there is also the ASD brains as well, which the comorbidity rate is quite high with those two. Even the threat of rejection provides us with this severe physical pain in our bodies. And so in my logical brain, I'm like, well, no wonder I would avoid any of those situations if it causes me the pain. And I see this in younger individuals that make me say, oh yeah, that was my childhood. I completely understand that. I have memories of reacting exactly like that to a similar situation because that is your brain trying to protect you from pain. And of course, whether anxiety is part of that RSD or not, like I don't know that we were born with anxiety, but seeing that reaction and knowing how the neurons in our brain develop these pathways based on routines and learnings in that way, I can say for sure that my brain learned that as a defense mechanism. This person is going to reject me. I'm going to be ostracized. This is going to hurt. I'm going to have to do this instead. So whether that is avoiding the social situation, having to pump myself up to go to a social event, being much more comfortable with the recorded socialization, and studying social behavior. I loved anthropology. I remember so many elementary school days sitting at a tree and watching everybody else interact. All the self-help books that I devoured in my 20s. Oh my goodness. Like I was like, oh, I love this genre. Well, no wonder. I'm trying to figure out how to fit into the world so that I don't get rejected, so that I'm fully accepted. You know what? All along I was accepted. All along people actually liked me for who I was. But that's where it's even the threat, even the mere threat of being rejected would cause me physical pain. And I know that now too, especially after taking hormonal altering, after starting taking escitalopram, which allows more serotonin to be absorbed by my brain, I could better sense where that feeling was. And now when there is a strong feeling, I go there, as I know that that is where that pain was. That's where that, and it's not necessarily even pain. Like sometimes it's like, oh, that's so lovely. That's such a lovely sentiment. It's such a strong feeling, and it's right there. And trying to avoid the negative feeling there has made me anxious about so many little things that I didn't even realize that I'm anxious. I started taking speech. I lost my voice for 8 months, or 8 weeks. Oh my gosh, 8 months. I have heard of that, but 8 weeks last summer. And as a result, led to ENMT, who recommended me to a speech therapist. And I've been seeing the speech therapist this summer. And one of her observations is how tight I am when I come in. And it's interesting to hear that again, even after all of the work and that I think I've been doing, and maybe it's just a matter of all this anxiety, and how much less stressed I feel right now than last summer, last winter, so many years in my past. I'm like, oh, it's still there. And that's reflected in what my body is doing, which is really cool. I think I'm going to have to read that book about the body, how the body keeps score, or something like that. Anyways, I'll give you an update when I do actually read it. And that's very cool stuff. I've learned a lot from the speech therapist about, yes, I am pretty tight. Need to relax. And part of that is the social anxiety, especially when it comes to the talking. And so, as a recovering perfectionist, I am posting this without editing it, because as much as I love editing, I could sit and do that all afternoon. I don't have all afternoon, but I want to be sharing my voice. I want to be sharing my stories. And the conversation last night really helped me understand that it's worth sharing the stories, even if they're not perfect, even if the video quality is not as great as I wanted to, or the sound quality. I'm sure I will work on improving that as everything gets going, as it becomes something that I'm doing more regularly. But I haven't really done any of this since last fall. And I keep coming back to the fact that I want to have this. I want to inspire more and more people. And this platform allows me to do that. Because I'm pretty awesome. Like, I'm an inspiration. Oh, and something the speech therapist said about talking and about how I want to be changing my speech so that I'm not hurting myself. Is that she's like, oh, like, as the young people say, bring that real main character energy. So this is like, if you're on my channel, you already think that I'm a main character. And my story is amazing. I've been writing it for nearly 40 years, so that's great. Oh, and maybe that would be a really cool thing to do. Okay, my birthday is September 16th. I'm going to try and do 40 videos before then, before my 40th birthday. Fantastic. Impulsivity, ADHD impulsivity at the best. I'm gonna set this goal. And of all the tens of people watching this, you can be my accountability. How many out of 40? Okay. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that it's inspired you, that you see something inside of my story that helps you feel better about yourself, inspires you to think better about the world, yourself, people. Yeah, it helps you think. Have a good day.